So there's a couple questions that came in. One was actually targeted to me. It said we use Data Power and API Connect at the client example. Is it possible to have automated installations of patches via IBM's Cloud Satellite? We have installations on-prem in IBM Cloud and in other cloud platforms. So this is a great question. So fundamentally, the customer here is using its API Connect and Data Power in multiple physical locations, and they want to know if Satellite can help with the management of that. So I think the basic answer to that is yes. That's the good news. The bad news is not right now. So what I mean by this is, think about this like any other public cloud region. When we create a new public cloud region, not every cloud service is available to be deployed into that region, to be provisioned into that region. And I think this is where we are with Satellite, right? So with Satellite right now, we have some Watson data and AI capabilities through Cloud Pak for Data as a Service is available. Our managed Kubernetes service, our Red Hat Kubernetes service in IBM Cloud is available. Continuous delivery pipelines are available. And as of today, when we're doing this session, that's it. On our roadmap, we expect to offer our databases capability, our IBM Cloud databases, event streaming, and then by the end of the year, probably a couple dozen services will be available. By the end of next year, probably another 3 dozen or so on top of that. So my point is, this is overall a journey that we're taking with respect to Cloud Satellite. And what that means is, like, specifically to API Connect, and interesting, like before this session, I was in a meeting where we were talking about API Connect, but specifically with respect to API Connect and Data Power, those are not available yet on satellite locations as fully managed services. So in order to get the kind of the day 2 operations, the automated install, et cetera, capabilities where IBM is taking over all that patch, upgrade, release, lifecycle management. Those services, those need to be IBM Cloud services, and they need to be provisionable, enabled to be provisioned onto Satellite. And we're not yet there with API Connect and with Data Power. What I suggest you do, and we'll show the slide from the beginning, or we'll paste it in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll make sure you have my IBM email address. Feel free to reach out to me, and we can have a kind of a dive deep conversation about when those services will be available and how to best kind of fit the use case that you're bringing up. All right, another question, Anthony, this was for you. When you were doing the the satellite config demo, they saw you flashing up some YAML, right? Because that's what satellite config is basically doing. It's managing your Kubernetes configurations. They said, hey, is that YAML a Helm chart? So feel free to answer whether the YAML that you were showing was indeed references to a Helm chart or not.
Yeah, so that one I answered in the chat. So that one, it's not a Helm chart. It's a normal YAML file for Kubernetes and OpenShift resources.
Ah, you're ahead of me. I can't get to the chat for whatever reason, so I didn't realize you'd answered that. Perfect. So yeah, I mean, the general thing inside of the sat config is that you're managing Kubernetes objects. So you're managing the Kubernetes configurations. Those are in YAML, and then what they consist of. It could be a deployment set, a replica set, a service, a pod, whatever those definition snippets are, big or small. I think those are the main questions that we had here. Yes, Kevin, if you can post into our private chat any other questions that are coming in. All right, so we need to get the links dropped into the public chat. So I'll be happy to bring those in here into the private chat, and then Kevin, you can copy those over. If you're interested in more information about Satellite, you can go to cloud.ibm.com/satellite. If you want to take a look at the architecture examples, etc. here, you can go to cloud.ibm.com/docs/satellite. Now, the really useful links are over in IBM Developer, where Jan and Anthony have the code patterns that they've built and the examples. Hey, if you guys could post into the chat those links for IBM Developer, we'll make sure that Kevin makes those available to everybody. And
Yeah,
if you
sure.
want to reach out to Dave to complain about anything, ask about something, tell me about your needs, I am happy to talk to anybody. You can reach out to me at davetropeano@us.ibm.com. And Kevin will post that as well for us. All right, perfect. All right, I think if we don't have any other questions coming in, we'd like to thank everybody for attending the session. I hope you got value out of seeing the high-level overview of Satellite, and then kind of a really great pattern here and dive deep of an application that's implemented using multiple cloud services on IBM Cloud, not on IBM Cloud, a satellite location running in AWS, kind of outside of anything having to do with IBM Cloud, how to set up link endpoints, how to create that location with a couple clicks in AWS itself. And as Jan said, we'll soon be adding tiles for all the other hyperscalers, for GCP, for Azure, et cetera. But you can go off and write your own Terraform or Ansible scripts to provision virtual machines on those other public clouds as well. There's no real magic there. We're just trying to provide some stock templates for you to use. So it was I thought it was a great demo, great presentation. Go check that code pattern out. That kind of goes through step by step the pieces here. All the slides will be available as part of Think, and I want to thank everybody for attending.